Hey sports fans, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cam Talk Sports. I'm your host Cameron Gooseby, and today I will be talking about my NFL Week 5 predictions between the Chicago Bears taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, as these two teams will be looking to make a significant playoff push and to actually specifically win this game in order to make the conference standings a little bit more complicated. Going first off with the Bears, they had an impressive win last week, albeit the Detroit Lions, but Justin Fields played much better than what he did in Cleveland 2 weeks ago. And as far as like what Justin Fields did in week 4 against the Lions, he was throwing the ball accurately, like he was throwing it deep accurately. He didn't throw any touchdown passes. He threw one interception, but that one interception wasn't really his fault. But Justin Fields, he didn't do all that. He really didn't do all that bad. He did a pretty good job. Everyone was catching the deep ball down the field. The defense was playing all right. They forced a few turnovers on the Detroit Lions, and yeah, this was a all-out dominant team win, and this is what the Bears should be trying to do from each day forward. Literally, the play calling from last week with Matt Nagy giving it up to Bill Lazor, it was a genius move, because with Matt Nagy, it seems as though he holds back the offense as into what it could be, as into like holding its potential. And with Bill Lazor, as far as him with this play calling, he's doing a much better job than Matt Nagy. The Bears score a lot more points when Lazor calls the plays instead of Nagy. And then this is also proof from last year that it wasn't Trubisky who was the problem. It was clearly Matt Nagy who was the problem. There was also the problem of the Bears not scoring a lot of points. Literally, with Nagy calling plays this year, the Bears are not even averaging 20 points per game this year. And this is even going from last year when he had Trubisky and or Foles as his quarterback. They didn't even average 20 points. They only managed to get 20 points. I believe, about 5 times out of the past 2 seasons under Matt Nagy, under his play calling. So, yeah. And then with Bill Lazor, this is a guy that's giving the Bears good offensive production. He's at least giving the Bears 24 points in a game. And literally, the Bears they play much better under Bill Lazor's offensive scheme, under his offensive play calling, and they seem to play with a different intensity under Lazor's play calling, and I happen to notice that. And then as far as the defense did much better last week. As far as forcing a few fumbles, they made Jared Goff run for his life last week. They played a very good offensive line in the Detroit Lions, and although this is going to hurt, Akeem Hicks will be out tomorrow's game against the Las Vegas Raiders because he has a groin injury. He got hurt on the first play against the Lions last week. That's going to significantly hurt our defensive line, but as long as Robert Quinn, Khalil Mack, Bilal Nichols, and Eddie Goldman is getting to Derek Carr, then I'm not saying this is going to be an easy game by all means, but considering that this is a pretty bad offensive line that the Las Vegas Raiders have, and considering that they have a pretty bad secondary defensively, the Bears should be able to put up points tomorrow. But do I think that they're going to win? I honestly don't know. This is more of a toss-up type of game for me, because literally this could be a high-scoring type of game, as both defenses are not the best in the world, and although and although I like to say that the Bears defense is better, it's the secondary that I'm still concerned about. I mean, sure, we have a good cornerback in Jalen Johnson, but I mean, who's our second corner? Vildor, Shelley, Artie Burns? I'm not sure, but whoever it is, that second cornerback is always consistently getting burned, and it's not really good. And not to mention Tashaun Gibson and Eddie Jackson, they have not been really playing at an elite level this year, and literally the Bears are suffering for that. All because they got rid of Kyle Fuller, and they kept Jimmy Graham, and they signed Andy Dalton. That's the reason why the Bears defense is suffering this year, all because they got rid of Kyle Fuller. But going on to Oakland, last week they played the Chargers last week, and it really wasn't a pretty game for the Raiders last week. As a matter of fact, after the game, what I saw after the game was honestly really ridiculous what Joey Bosa said after the game, because the Chargers, they defeated the Raiders by a score of 28-14, and this was on Monday Night Football. But what Joey Bosa said was pretty accurate, because every time Derek Carr sees pressure under his face, he does not play really well. And with him seeing a lot of pressure in his face and not playing very well, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened on Monday Night Football last week. And I expect Derek Carr to step back, but considering that they're going up against this defensive line of the Bears, and considering that he's going to have Khalil Mack, his former teammate, all up in his face throughout the entire game, I'm not sure Derek Carr is going to have a good game. I mean, I expect him to do better, but am I expecting him to have a perfect rating type of game? I'm not sure. As long as the Bears can provide a lot of pressure on Derek Carr and stop the run and make sure that Darren Waller isn't running all over them, so Roquan has a pretty big assignment going against Darren Waller. But they have guys like Henry Ruggs. They have Renfro. They have guys. They even have Josh Jacobs. And these guys, like, if you let them loose, then they're obviously going to be going to the end zone. So the Bears are going to have to watch out for that. Literally, the Bears don't want to have any explosive offensive plays going up against them, because if that happens, that demoralizes the defense. And you saw exactly what happens when big plays go up against the Bears. And I mean, perfect example, you saw Sunday Night Football about a month ago when they lost embarrassingly against the LA Rams. But still, the fact of the matter is that the Bears, they're just going to have to go ahead and provide a lot of pressure into Derek Carr's face. And with that being said, if you guys go ahead and like this video, I'd like for you guys to go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys later. But before I go, if I want to go ahead and make a final score prediction, considering that the Las Vegas Raiders are playing at home against the Bears, and considering that this is a tougher team that the Bears have to go up against, I'm not saying that this isn't a team that's going to win a championship, but I think they can still go to the playoffs. I got the Raiders winning this one by a score of 24-21. I think Fields is going to have a really good game. The offensive line is going to be really good protecting Justin Fields, hopefully. They don't really have any notable players on the defensive line, but considering that fact, is the Bears' offense explosive enough to go up against a team like the Las Vegas Raiders? I think not. And then, not to mention, David Montgomery, he's out for like 5 weeks, all because simply he has a knee sprain. So the question is, can Damian Williams provide that same or similar offensive rushing production, similar to David Montgomery. I think he can, but will it be the same, and will it still be an impact on the Bears negatively? I think it will, because Damian Williams, although he could have won the Super Bowl MVP a few years ago when he was in Kansas City, I don't think he's the same player as he used to be in Kansas City. So it's kind of I'm not saying that this is going to be a bad game for Damian Williams, but I don't expect this to be a monstrous game for Damian Williams. But like I said before, my final score prediction is going to be a 24-21 victory for the Las Vegas Raiders, and that will drop the Bears to 2-3. And with that being said, I'll see you later.